Welcome back to Tabletop Goodness. I've been talking lots about board games, card art, component quality, and how to improve the storage side of things, but I never looked at what you can do to immerse yourself more in the game on your board game nights. Well, for me, the best experience that I had when playing games is when the, outside world fades into the background and I'm only really aware of the game that I'm playing. It's like when you play a TTRPG and tell your friends afterwards, we restored the piece of the lands even though we completely messed up our rolls. In your mind, you were really there. This has happened to me in many games, oftentimes also in big campaign-like games where I was heavily invested in the story, like Midara, Unintentional Malum, ISIS Vanguard, or Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. Many of these games have some kind of companion app, which also facilitates telling the story, something, I'm actually not the biggest fan of, as playing board games is a decidedly analog experience for me, but I admit that it has its use cases. So, it begs the question then as to why I still felt so overly immersed in those games. Well, if you've read the title, you will not be overly surprised that the one thing those games have in common is music or sound effects or, other things that trick your brain into thinking that there's more to the game than actual cardboard. A musician and composer myself, I'm a firm believer in music providing the musical landscapes for games to sit on. Thematical music can immerse you in ways never thought of, whereas non-thematical music would be, quite counterproductive. Imagine a time-critical space mission underlined with a cartoonish theme song, and you get where I'm coming from. So, yeah. Music needs to be thematical, but it also needs to be able to blend into the background. Usually when I talk about music, I'm talking about, active listening in order to get the full experience out of it, not so much here. In order to provide just enough audio cues to the brain, it should not constantly be at the forefront of your mind. And I believe that this is a precarious balance to strike. I feel that song length plays an important factor here as well, as if the track changes too often or is too short and constantly on repeat, for example, your brain would notice and immersion would break. So, how should you choose what you listen to? Well, first it depends on the game that you're playing. Make sure to find something that fits the pace and feel of the game, or the part of the game that you're playing. Second, look for something that's not too dominant and played at a more reasonable volume than you would listen to other music. And third, make sure that you don't have to DJ all around the time. I think it's important to say that once immersion has been broken, it will take some time to get immersed again. Now, if you're really interested in getting the most out of your board game nights and supporting my channel as well in turn, I have an exciting announcement to make. I'm currently working on a crowdfunding campaign to write an instrumental album that actually fits all of the aforementioned criteria. I want to look at the, top trending games and write songs targeting those specifically. This means that you can enjoy your, say, Wingspan game night with music that I feel fits Wingspan well. I'm currently collating a list of games that I want to draw inspiration from and will overall target a few different genres. If you want to help out, let me know in the comments down below which game you would love interpreted as an instrumental track. This is a project from a board game lover for board game lovers worldwide. So make sure to like and subscribe my channel in order to be kept in the loop and not miss the launch date announcement. Okay. Now you know what I think helps with giving board game nights more theme and immersion. If you set up a board game night, what are your tips for adding that extra touch? Let me know in the comments down below and talk soon on Tabletop Goodness.